Hi there, welcome to another episode of Gus Talk TV. I'm John Gossier, and this is a show where I share advice and tips that I pick up as an entrepreneur in the hopes that other entrepreneurs can learn and avoid some of the same mistakes that I've made. Right now, I am in Amsterdam. At my hotel. I'm here to speak at a conference called Fill the Gap. Fill the Gap is a conference that's it's all about getting past the mobile hype and what's really working, what isn't, and it should be really interesting. But what I wanted to talk about today is getting things done. As an entrepreneur, it's easy to get distracted. It's easy to find things that take your attention away from the work that needs to go into accomplishing what it is you want to accomplish. And there's a couple of tips that I've picked up that I thought might be relevant. So first, work at night. I get so much more done at night between the hours of 3 and 7 a.m. But I realize that's really, that's asking a lot. It's usually when most people want to be asleep. So what I'd say is find the balance that works for you. If you're someone who needs a lot of sleep, then you could get your day started early. You could take work home and work a little bit later. But the idea is during the day, during normal work hours, between 9 to 5, is when the most distractions occur. So working at night simply allows you to focus on the things that you need to do with less distractions. Of course, it's really about solitude more than it's about the timing. So if you could lock yourself away and work in a very closed environment, that would be another way to accomplish the same thing. So another tip that I've picked up, put a price on your personal time. No matter what it is you're doing, no matter what you're working on, calculate a price, your hourly worth or whatever, and relate it to everything. So let's say you're worth $75 an hour, and you want to go take a break from work and go play video games. Now, you might play video games for 6 hours. Now calculate that cost for a second. When you think about it through that lens, the time that you're spending doing recreational things becomes lost money. And it's not that you don't want to do the recreational things. What you do want to do is know what your time is worth to you. Because you're not getting paid directly for it. It's not billable hours to a client, but it is time that you could be using to do something else related to your work. Whether it's tidying up your website or improving your bio, or those sorts of things that tend to get put off. But these things are also important, and so I always try to think of things through the lens of what's the lost value from spending time doing things that aren't work. Now, you don't want to become obsessive about this. You don't want to say, hey, I can't come to your wedding unless you give me $5,000. But you could, but you do want to have it lingering in the back of your mind because it helps you put things in perspective. So another tip. Milestones and to-dos. There's a number of project management apps out there, but the one that I find the most useful for myself is Basecamp. And it's not necessarily for all the features that Basecamp has. It's simply because Basecamp has a great way to assign to-do lists to milestones which are attached to calendaring. So what that allows me to do is set up milestones for the future and all the tasks that need to get done to accomplish that milestone, and I can actually see my progress as I'm working and checking off those boxes, those to-dos, and eventually I check enough boxes off that the milestone is complete. The great thing about that is before you hit the date whether or not you've accomplished all the things that are required to make that milestone happen. It allows you to think about the tasks specifically required to get something done. And so finally, the last tip that I wanted to leave is working with others keeps you accountable, because you're essentially stating to someone that you're going to do something. They want to see you do it, and if you don't, they're going to call you out. Now, if you're a solo entrepreneur, the challenge is you're on your own and you are working at your own pace, your own schedule, and you don't have anyone to call you out. So here's a couple of things that I've done instead to sort of create a similar pressure, a similar external pressure. And that is, I'll often announce projects that I'm working on to someone, maybe the world through a website or through press release, that I haven't even begun yet. And that's a very dangerous thing. I call it entrepreneur roulette, because either you're going to do that thing that you said you were going to do, or you aren't. From the time you say it, there's a gun to your head that says, if you don't do this, I'm going to go off and the whole thing's going to blow up in your face. And there's nothing like that pressure to keep you motivated to get things done. Now, if you do that a few times and you don't make the milestone, people are going to start to consider you a flake. So you want to use that cautiously. So as I mentioned, I'm here in Amsterdam. As you can see from my scarf, it's a little cold here. But before I go, I thought I'd leave you with some shots that I took around the city. I'm loving it here, and look forward to talking to you guys again soon.